I just want to ask you, Justin, how many times do you think you were naughty this year?
Oh, Elijah, I'm not legally allowed to answer that question.
It's pending in a court of law. I will talk about it later.
Oh my God, I hope that does not screw me.
Whose beauty killed the beast?
Not quite like that.
Hang on, then I'll cut you like a fish.
You just gotta keep living, man.
No, it's got some action.
Favorite non-pornographic magazine.
Put that cookie down!
Why do I fall in love with every woman I see who shows me the least bit of attention?
I love you.
You are one pathetic loser.
Yeah, I got a whole episode for you, Justin.
Oh, sweet, awesome.
Yeah, today's 5 stories in a DCOM. That's what I got.
5 stories in a DCOM. That sounds like fun.
I wanted some sort of like cohesive sounding episode.
Yeah,
And
I
this is
like
what I
that.
came up with. 5 stories in a DCOM.
I love it. I did notes for the first time in a while.
It felt good to do notes. When was the last time we did a DCOM? It's probably a year ago.
Yeah, it's probably been a year. How long have you been doing this? 2 years now?
Almost 3. Yeah, it's going to be 3 years in February.
Shit, dude. So maybe 2 years ago.
We have the equivalent of like 1 year's worth of episodes because
Right.
it's sporadic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually find out when our last one was. This is a great time this would have been a great time to have our associate producer here, but he's not here today.
What's he doing? Reading emails? He's a busy guy. Isn't it? It sucks having a successful friend. I mean, like, he's just constantly doing something. Like, he has an actual life as you and I are. Like, I'm a bartender and you're a film school dropout.
Yeah. Three-time film school dropout. Thank you very
Dude,
much.
that's impressive. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what
Holy
a damn
crap.
person says. What?
Was our I think our last 2? Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago we did our last DCOM.
That's crazy. And our last one was what, Minutemen?
It looks like it. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Holy shit, dude. Look at my memory. My memory is usually horrible.
September 1st, 2021.
We've been doing this for a long time. I think I say this every year, that this has been the longest relationship I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, we're growing old together, Justin. That's
We're
what
growing
this
old
whole
together.
endeavor was all about. I just needed a partner to grow old with.
I'm always here for you, baby.
All right, well, we got an exciting episode, Justin.
Fuck yeah.
I'll go right into it then.
Do it.
Welcome to History of Popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. Consider this your secret public movie club. We are a podcast that celebrates all things movies, TV, life, love, friendship, and hot topics like Harry Styles shaving his head and Snoop Dogg quitting the smoke.
Oh,
We
shit.
react to the... Yeah. We react to the latest industry news. We do movie reviews and discuss just about everything movies and TV and hot topics. We have new episodes every Tuesday. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as a visual episode on YouTube. Hello.
What up?
We are your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Justin.
And looking behind the corner, but not in a creepy way, is our Wizard of Oz and our associate producer, Chris. Would you like to say hi, Chris? No, because he's not here today, but that's okay.
Because he's busy.
He's busy. Yeah, so we're going to have 5 stories and a DCOM to revisit today, Justin. But
Love
before
it.
we get into all that, I'm going to ask you what I ask you every week. What have you been watching?
So recently I watched, oh fuck, what did I watch? I watched something that I wanted to tell you about. And now I just forgot it.
Gotta have a
I
notebook.
know, damn. Well, of course I watched our DCOM, like, not too long
Yes.
ago.
Yes, we'll be talking about that at the end of the episode.
I did watch something. Oh, I finished Weeds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were just talking about that. How many seasons is that?
8 seasons.
Okay.
4 seasons too long, I'd like to say. And I absolutely despised every moment of the 8th season. It's like one of the worst
Really?
series finales I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like so rushed.
Why do you think it's 4 seasons too much? Do you think where did it jump the shark?
It jumped the shark after the 3rd season, and I mean, like, if you haven't seen it, this is kind of like spoiler to Weeds, even though the show's been out for a horrible amount of time. So the 3rd season, the first 3 seasons is set in Agresta, California, which is a fake place, and they like live in the suburbs, and she sells weed to the suburbs, and it's like a satire on just suburban life and all that good jazz. And then after the 3rd season, they end up leaving Agresta, and they like expand, and they like go to California, or on the beach. They go to New York. They do all this fucking shit.
Oh, they go international, or they go National?
Yeah, and then someone gets murdered, and then they're on a road trip, and it's just so it goes very, very over the top, and the main character just gets more and more egregious. But yeah, but other than that, like there was something else I watched I wanted to tell you, and I can't remember what it was. So that just proves how good that was, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you make Weed sound so convincing that I really want to watch it now. But
Yeah, I will say the soundtrack is the best part. Soundtrack's amazing.
yeah, shows for those. Yeah, I love when a show has really good soundtrack.
I forgot because I used to watch Weeds a lot when I was a kid. And I forgot that
You
most
watched
of my
Weeds as a kid? That was your childhood show?
yeah, I did. I know, explains a lot about me. But I forgot how much the show inspired my music taste.
Oh, okay.
Because there's so many songs, and I'm like, that's where I heard this song from.
Yeah. I should revisit some shows like that and be like, I should do that. I should revisit shows. I don't like watching things twice usually, like shows and stuff. It's very hard. Like I have to really like this show. Like this show, Love on Netflix, I like a lot. I can rewatch those a lot.
It's just the thing is like these are the shows like Love where there aren't that many episodes, but the episodes are so freaking long.
They feel long, but they're not.
They feel long.
I don't think every episode's an hour for that one.
No.
They're
It's
less.
very
I
sporadic.
think they're like 35 to 40
Yeah,
usually. But
it's a Judd Apatow program, so that's why like the pacing's always going to be off because Judd Apatow he's
I
always
consider
been bad
it more
pacing.
so Paul Rust.
Paul Rust. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love him.
I know, dude. Paul Rust, we got to protect him all the time.
In the last like 2 weeks, I haven't watched a single movie. I realized that.
Didn't you
I was
see
like,
Saltburn?
wow. Yeah, I was gonna get to that, but
Sorry. I just
the entire time I was like, because I have Letterboxd, so I like keep track of everything I watch, not TV, but movies, and I logged Saltburn because I went to the LA premiere here this past Tuesday, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But I just realized that like I didn't watch a movie in an entire 2 weeks, and I felt like
That's
really
crazy.
disappointed in myself. I was like, what am I doing? I'm slacking. And that just reminded me that there's still so much that I have to see. Like I have to see Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, yeah, and I have to see Killers of the Flower Moon still.
I still have to see Killers of the Flower Moon.
There's like so much that I have to see, and we're getting to the end of the year, Justin.
I know,
we have to
dude.
talk about our top 10 movies.
I know,
and, like I have a top 10 because I've seen at least 10 movies this year that came out. But there are so many that I know are going to get bumped off my list because the other movies. Well, I'm hoping like Killers of the Flower Moon. I hope I like a lot.
I think I'm on the same boat as you. I haven't been watching that many. We're majorly slacking.
But yeah, I saw Saltburn. That movie is insane, Justin. I went to the premiere. Everyone was there. It was insane.
I can't believe you went to the premiere.
texted
Did you?
you-
Was it at the Chinese theater?
No. That's for like huge movies. This one was called the Theater at the Ace Hotel in Los Angeles. But it was really cool. I walked past the red. I didn't get to walk on the red carpet, but I walked past the red carpet. I mean, that's just for the
That's still cool.
producers and shit. Yeah, like I wasn't dressed up like super dressed up. I wasn't ready for pictures. I'll say that. But
They're like, oh my god, is that Elijah Thomas Jackson from History of Popcorn?
Margot Robbie was there, so I'd be like, Margot Robbie, History of Popcorn. We have a question for you. It's not even related to the movie.
How did it feel to get slapped by Will Smith in the movie Focus?
But yeah, everyone was there. It was a really good time. Emerald Fennell introduced the movie with the cast. I found out I'm as tall as Barry Cogan, so that's cool. That's cool
good.
To me, I
Good
think.
for you.
Good for you.
Is he British?
I think he's Irish. I think he's
Irish. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what what that man
What he
is.
Yeah, he's a little. I can honest. Well, he's a little freak. I'll tell you that because the things that he does in Saltburn are insane. Like I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't see Matt Reeves' Joker being any darker than what he does in this movie. Like I don't see the Joker being a more evil character. Like there's something going on with Barry Cogan's character in the entire movie that you're just so unnerved by, and I think you will realize that with a lot of his other roles. But the movie Saltburn, putting the writer behind Promising Young Woman and Barry Cogan together is an insane crossover. That
Really?
I gave this movie 5 stars, but I know it's not for everyone. And I was uncomfortable for 75% of the movie.
Is it a long movie?
No, not really. But it's just like it's hard because I because of the subject matter and the things that happen. Like I was originally going to go with some people like a parent and a kid and a friend. And I'm glad that they ended up having to cancel because the movie was so uncomfortable for me as a 27-year-old. I was like, I could not put that into someone. I wouldn't know what to do if I showed someone that. It was like when you and I saw Men, we were like, holy shit.
Oh, right.
And it's like, the movie is so uncomfortable, and I will watch it again, and some people will be like, that's messed up that you would watch that again, but it's like, you can't find anything actually wrong with it except for the fact that it made you uncomfortable. Like, the subject matter and the things that happen are uncomfortable, but you can't say it's a bad movie. It's the way everything is so convincing, and it's so unnerving. It's just a really good movie, and I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but I gave it 5 stars.
I am definitely gonna see it now. I still haven't came around to I watched a little bit of it. Like I've seen scenes, but I still haven't come around to watch Promising Young Woman.
What? I thought we talked about this.
I watched I watched it in sections, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty wasted. I was with a girlfriend at the time, and like we were watching it, and like I remember like I like fell asleep for a second, then I woke back up and some shit happened, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, what just happened? And she was like, were you asleep? And I was like, I passed out for a second. But so like I don't really count it.
Yeah, you have to have a double feature of these movies, and I don't think you'll be able to recover for like a few days.
Oh yeah, I bet. Because this movie is supposed to be like a comedy, and like it's like a dark comedy, right?
It's a black comedy.
Black comedy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like as dark as you can get. Like there's no jokes, but everything that's in it is just like so like well done, and it's just great. It's a great movie. It's well acted. This was the first time I saw Jacob Elordi act outside of the Kissing Booth trilogy, so I was impressed. I've never saw him in Euphoria. I never saw him in Priscilla, but he's up and coming now because of his looks, and I was a little impressed with his acting, but he does kind of just act like Jacob Elordi, I feel like, and that's why they cast him in this movie as like this. Because it's about Barry Keoghan's character becoming obsessed with Jacob Elordi's character and his family, really rich family, and it's an incredible movie about intimacy and obsession.
The trailer, when I saw the trailer, it kind of reminded me of a more artsy version of The Talented Mr. Ripley.
It's a dark, talented Mr. Ripley meets like a couple other movies. It's really wild.
Like it was like Talented Mr. Ripley and Midsummer.
Yeah, and it gets pretty dark.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only movie I've watched really. I haven't been watching anything new, just comfort stuff. Yeah, it's not because of the Saltburn, but I've just been watching TV like comfort shows, like New Girl and The Office have been my go-to shows lately.
Oh yeah, The Office is always on.
But yeah, so that's what we've been watching. Let us know what you guys have been watching and what we should be checking out. Justin, are you ready for some movie news?
Dude, I am so ready.
Hell yeah, let's get into it. Have you heard about this movie or this company called Warner Brothers Discovery?
That's a new independent studio, right?
Yeah. So,
I heard they've been making some great decisions lately.
Yes. So this latest decision by this company, they canned another movie. They decided that this movie was going to be another tax write-off. This would be the third movie that they're writing off. The first one being Batgirl, the second one being Scoob, and this one sounds like. It just seems like the studio is getting worse and worse because this one is called Coyote vs. Acme, which actually sounded like a very exciting movie the more I heard about it.
Yeah, it sounded great.
The thing about this movie that made it different from Batgirl and Scoob was, well, Scoob was basically done, but Coyote vs. Acme is 100% done. They shot it on budget. They didn't have to do reshoots. They didn't have to do anything. He did everything that the studio asked, and they were all the way to the point of testing audiences. Testing it with audiences, and they was testing in the 90s, which is incredible.
Yeah, which is pretty like not really unheard of, but I mean like for first screening.
Yeah, first screenings, it's like, wow, that movie's already solid. Like usually they have to do reshoots after that. It sounded like they didn't even need to do that, but for some reason the guy in charge, I'm not going to say his name, because I forgot it.
Right, we're gonna have it right over here. Right over here.
He decided that he was going to write it off as another tax write-off, and everyone was angry. And as soon as that was announced, footage of the sets and like production videos were released of how practical the movie was going to be and how much love was put into it with the sets and everything. I'm not allowed to show it on the podcast because we'll get copyrighted, but it went around pretty quick, and I think what's it called? They decided that they were going to shop the movie around instead, and they backtracked and said we're not going to write it off anymore. and it was a big deal because it was the result of people being upset about it. And people were so upset that even a congressman decided to investigate Warner Brothers and wants a federal investigation against them because he thinks that what they're doing is basically illegal. He said it's the equivalent of burning down a house for insurance.
Yeah.
Building a house and burning it down for insurance money, and he's saying that shouldn't be a factor anymore. So it's going to court.
That's actually a very, very fair point. I thought it sounded ridiculous at first, but that's a very fair point.
Because it's people it's there's so many factors to it, and I think that it's so funny that the movie that's actually is making this discussion happen is called Coyote versus Acme.
I know, right?
Because the premise of this movie sounds pretty funny too, and the cast is awesome. The movie is written by James Gunn, co-written by James Gunn, and produced by him, he's now in charge of the DC part of the studio. So I think that's a big part of it. People were like, James Gunn, do something, and I think he saw that. But the movie follows after all the products made by Acme Corporation backfire on Wile E. Coyote in his pursuit for the Roadrunner, he hires an equally unlucky human attorney to sue the company. When Wile E's lawyer finds out that his former law firm's intimidating boss is Acme CEO, he teams up with Wile E. Coyote to win the court case against him. And the attorney was played by Will Forte, and John Cena was the CEO of Acme. It sounded like it would have been a lot of fun seeing Will Forte be over the top in a hybrid live action animated movie. We may have talked about this in the past on the past episode, but this is big news, and I'm glad that it's going to be released by a different company. Netflix is on top of the charts. Amazon is on top of the charts of trying to get the rights.
Well, Amazon already bought out. I know that Amazon Prime already bought out the Urkel, this Urkel Christmas movie, and they bought out this Batman, little kid Batman Christmas movie too that they tried taking off HBO Max or Max, whatever the hell it's called. But yeah, no, it's crazy. But that because it's not just because there are also movies that they made for the streaming service that they just deleted, that are not, you can't find them anywhere. Like there's that Seth Rogen movie, An American Pickle, that they completely they just took it off.
No physical media of it either.
So I mean, I totally agree. It's like that fucking Fahrenheit. What's that one book where they have to burn all the books?
Fahrenheit 451 or something.
451, some shit like that. It's kind of like that. It's like where they're just burning media for, and it's like stuff that's it's like such harmless stuff too. It's not like stuff where it's not like stuff like The Flash, where it's like the effects are horrible and they have this terrible leading actor who's not just the character's annoying. Everything about the movie is just I know it sucks to lose that much money, but that's a good tax write-off right there. It's that the universe is fucked. Just cut Aquaman and cut the Flash and then call it good. But no, they're picking on these small movies, like the Scooby-Doo movie and the Batgirl, and now Coyote versus Acme, where it's who pissed this guy off? I feel
he hates fun.
Yeah, he's like it's weird. But I'm glad that they're gonna. I feel like the movie we are gonna see the light of day for this movie, because it's
kind of a big deal that Warner Brothers is not releasing an Acme project. They've been a part of Warner Brothers for
decades, more multiple decades. Yeah, and also I mean already having a Looney Tunes movie is kind of a it's a risk, only because Looney Tunes Back in Action was such a huge flop, even though that movie I think is highly underrated. And of course Space Jam: New Legacy too. Besides the pandemic, I don't think that movie would have made that much money, because these people don't really know how to write for they don't really know how to write for the Looney Tunes. And I think that this idea is so original and so out there that I can see them being this could be really good, this could make us some money, this could be really good, or this could be a huge bomb. But that's what's great nowadays about having fucking these streaming services, where it's okay, if you don't think, and I think the movie only cost $70 million compared to Space Jam 2.
Yeah, which was a lot less than what the director actually wanted, but the director lived up to it and then some by delivering more than what they were expecting for $70 million.
Yeah, and like so that just like it's like dude, just take the like even if the movie doesn't do all that good, just take the L. I mean, like Jesus Christ, and it's just so rude. It's like all these people work so hard on all this stuff, and then they just decide to like this guy that has nothing to do with the movie, who's literally just sitting on his ass, like and just it's literally like the Acme,
it's insane. I feel like the creator saw the movie and saw that John Cena was playing him and being an asshole. I was like, I don't like it. It's probably something like that. It's probably personal.
I hope that they get rid of this guy because he's been making a lot of stupid decisions.
David Zaslav, his name is.
David Zaslav. Yeah, he sounds like a fucking villain. He sounds like a movie villain. No, because like also just like changing HBO Max to Max. It's just like they're like little things where it's like this makes no. What are you trying to do here? It makes absolutely no sense.
Do you think this gives Batgirl any chance of a future?
No.
Or do you think it's too late?
I don't think so because that universe is so done.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I heard also one of the reasons why they scrapped it, which it makes a little bit of sense. One of the main reasons is because they scrapped the whole. Because the original ending of The Flash was Michael Keaton
yeah.
was going to be... They got George Clooney to be at the very end. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen The Flash, don't. It's horrible. So, I mean, like, you're dodging a bullet. But that was originally supposed to be Michael Keaton. He was supposed to be, like, the new Batman for this new restored universe.
Restored is a good way to put it instead of reboot. That's interesting, yeah.
And so and then when they decided not to do that, Batgirl, like, made absolutely no sense. So that one I get why they decided, like, because they still had to do reshoots and stuff, and they didn't really spend all that much money, where they were just like, okay, you know what, like, this movie just isn't working. It sucks, and all those people worked really hard, but like all of them still got paid, and like, you know, like I get it. Like that one, that it still sucks, but something like Coyote versus Acme and the Scooby-Doo one, like, is like, it's like, this makes no sense. Just release it. Like, I don't get like what's the big deal here unless like you caught one of the animators like screwing your wife or something. I don't get what the huge problem is here.
Yeah, I don't understand film politics yet to that caliber. I mean, it's got to be a huge money thing. It's just got to be a money thing that I just don't understand. But yeah, it's all, from what I'm hearing, it's all selfish.
Yeah, no, it seems like that, like even though like the strikes just happened and stuff, it seems like that we're heading towards a direction that's pretty scary for the movie world, which is like, it sucks because that's like all me and Elijah do. So if this keeps happening, then like we're just gonna be bummed for like the rest of our lives. Did you hear also, really quick, then we can move on, because it has something kind of to do with this. I heard that Best Buy is now gonna stop selling physical copies of movies.
Oh yeah, they're done selling physical media. Yeah.
So now it's just gonna be,
that's a huge hit.
That's crazy because that's where I used to always go to Best Buy to check out movies, and now
that's because everything was running out. Like Best Buy is like the only place now. Otherwise it's that or going to Target and it's just seeing that big bin of like $1
that bin
DVDs.
of just $1. Yeah, exactly. No, it's crazy to me because like I know that I'm part of that problem because I haven't bought a physical copy of a movie since in 2 years, and the last movie that I bought was Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and the reason why I did it is because it came with this shirt. It literally came with this shirt. That's the reason why I did it.
The last physical media I bought was I think it's the 20th anniversary of Cloverfield.
Oh wow!
On Blu-ray, it was the 20th anniversary earlier this year. But before that, I don't know what it was.
I've been thinking about selling my movies, but then I actually watched that. I heard about that Pete Davidson thing, and I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm just gonna keep these for a little while longer, and we'll see like how much that these could actually be worth. Because even if that deal won't even work, like there's so many collectors out there that are like, oh sweet, you have a DVD version of Bridget Jones's Diary. Can I have that?
Yeah, with the rare commentary from something like that.
Yeah,
because you know what's crazy? My parents or my family have like 4 different versions of box sets of Friends, and they're like,
that's
all
worth
different.
shit.
It's really weird, but like even on streaming, any platform that had streaming of Friends, they cut them down to a specific like 22 minutes. Some of the episodes ended up being like almost over 30 minutes, and there's additional scenes in those that are not on any other streaming service, but only the physical copies. Because I was watching an episode too, and there was like a moment that I remember so clear in my head. and it didn't happen in the episode. And I was like, where is this? Because there's a scene, I can remember it specifically. It's when Monica and Chandler are hiding their relationship, and they have a code word, and they say they're going to go do laundry. And then they, all the other friends, like, give them laundry, give them coins. And then Chandler gets really upset. He's like, oh, great, yay, all night laundry. Because they have to actually do laundry instead of go hook up in private. And they cut that out of the streaming version. And it's not in it anymore. And I was like, that's like one of the best lines where Chandler goes, yeah, he says that. So I think the physical media is really important. And it's exciting when you discover something like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably worth like way too much money, especially now with Matthew Perry passing.
So sad.
I know, right? Rest in peace.
But yeah, so there's our first story. That's a pretty big one. We're gonna get through these next 4 stories pretty quick. But these next stories, I just kicked the mic stand.
I know the noise you made.
These next 4 stories, I think, are going to be pretty exciting for you and I as just a little bit more original stories, because I think all of these are going to be pretty original. This first one I'm excited for is Alex Wolff is making his second directorial move. Did you ever see his first movie? And are you familiar with Alex Wolff?
No, yeah, I'm familiar
Naked
with Alex
Brothers
Wolff.
Band?
Naked Brothers Band, baby, and Hereditary.
Yeah, Hereditary.
The weirdest career of all time.
I love his career.
I love it. Yeah, no, I do too.
He was an Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, dude.
For a moment.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even know he directed something, honestly.
Yeah, his first movie is called The Cat in the Moon, and is independently produced by him. He directed it, he wrote it, he starred in it, and Mike Epps is in it. I think he's a producer in it as well. It's a really good intimate movie that I think I would recommend to you. Yeah, The Cat in the Moon. I believe that was in 2014 or something. No, not. That was a long. It was a 2019. But this is his follow-up, and I'm really excited because I was really impressed with his first movie. This one is called If She Burns, and it's a psychological thriller that he also wrote. He's going to be starring in, he's directing, and he's also doing the music. So this is his baby.
Ooh.
Another one of his babies. And the cast is pretty exciting. It's him, Victoria Pedretti, who is from You. She's also in the horror series. What is that? The House of Haunted Hill?
House on Haunted Hill.
That Netflix one, the Mike Flanagan one?
Yeah, I think that's what
she's
it is.
in that. And then there's also Asa Butterfield, who's in Ender's Game, Hugo, Sex Education, and Justice Smith, who is just in Dungeons and Dragons. He's in Jurassic World. I think that's a really good cast.
Detective
young
Pikachu.
Cast. Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, that is a good young cast.
So the movie's called If She Burns, and it is about a fiery young woman who travels to Europe with her dysfunctional family after a traumatic incident. Almost sounds like Midsummer. There, she finds refuge and danger in a turbulent affair with her enigmatic neighbor, played by Wolff, which, along with increasing family tensions and mysterious wildfires, threaten to push their relationship, or push her to her breaking point. So it sounds like it's going to be really intense.
You could say her life went up in flames.
Yeah, I don't understand where the wildfires come in, but I guess it probably adds some intensity, or even some real life inspiration from when there was wildfires in LA, and Alex Wolff was probably writing the movie around that time. Who knows? But
interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
I'm really excited for this one. I don't think there's a release date yet, but I believe it's getting a distributor. I'm not sure who, but I'm excited for this one, and it's on my radar because I like his first movie, The Cat in the Moon. So Alex Wolff's follow-up.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out The Cat in the Moon.
That's very good. So there's that movie. I'm excited for that one. Let's get to this next one. This next one is Keira Knightley. What was the last thing you saw Keira Knightley do?
Begin Again? Is that what it's called?
Holy crap, 2014? That was a long time ago. Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That one and Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. I just recently rewatched the movie like a few weeks ago.
2014 was a good year for her. That was both.
2014 was a good year for her.
Maybe.
Yeah. But then I haven't seen. I didn't know. I thought she retired or something. I haven't seen her in forever.
I think she's been producing a lot of stuff. She just recently came out with the Boston Strangler on Hulu.
Oh, what?
And there's other movies that she came out with, but she hasn't
and
done much.
etc.
But no, like the one before that is called Silent Night, and that was 2021, which also looked really good actually. And that one I wanted to see, but I never did. Is about a family celebrating Christmas, and I guess everyone's gonna die, like it's the end of the world. It's called Silent Night.
Oh yeah.
We might have talked about it in the trailer or something, but
I think I remember something like that.
It looked really enticing, and the director and writer of that movie is teaming up with Keira Knightley again for this new movie. So they must have had a really good time on that movie because they're working together immediately again. And this movie is called Conception.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be what you think it is. So Keira Knightley plays a character, let's see, named Rita. She's a loyal civil servant and a believer in the unforgiving system that she upholds until unexpected events endanger her own parental status, rendering her victim to the same laws that she is so readily inflicted on others. And the movie's about the government controlling parenting, so it's going to be a sci-fi thriller, not in the far too distant future. So I'm excited to see Keira Knightley do some more thrilling stuff. I didn't get to see Boston Strangler, but that's because I wasn't convinced with her American accent, but that's okay.
I didn't even know. I didn't know that she was. I didn't know she had anything to do with that.
Boston Strangler. I guess we needed a Boston Strangler movie.
Right.
I don't really see Keira Knightley playing a woman from Boston though, and she did not do a Boston accent. It's okay. She refused to do a Boston accent, she said. Let's see. We got another movie. This one sounds really exciting, actually. This one stars Jack Quaid.
Dennis Quaid's offspring.
Oh, yeah. This one is called Novocaine, and it's about a mild-mannered, introverted man who is born with a rare genetic disorder that makes him impervious to physical pain.
Oh.
And wait, let me go back to where this is the better one. In Novocaine, he plays Nathan Kane. He was born with a rare disorder, CIPA, congenital insensitivity to pain, which means he does not feel physical pain. He grew up in a sheltered child, learning to blend his food so he would not unwittingly chew off his own tongue, and he learned to wear a timer to remind himself when to go to the bathroom. But when his bank is robbed and his new love is taken hostage, his affliction becomes his greatest strength as he sets out to rescue her. So he takes the fact that he can't feel pain to his advantage by saving a bank robbery, which sounds insane to me. And they're comparing it to like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable and Keanu Reeves from John Wick. And it's hoping to get a franchise going.
Oh, God. I hate it when people immediately are just
fine.
like, we're going to start a franchise.
Imagine building a world, though, that dense. Like, when you go into studios, you have to have, like, a Bible of, like, well, how well do you know the story? And so if it's good enough, people are going to be like, okay, let's do the whole thing. So if you I'd rather have it go in from the get-go. This could be a thing rather than success. Let's make it a thing.
Right. Okay. I got.
But I understand your point. Not everything needs sequels and everything. That's true, especially with something exciting and original.
Yeah. The other day I saw the trailer for Rebel Moon Part 1, the child of whatever.
The longest title in the world.
Yeah. And my roommate Gavin and I were watching the trailer, and he was like, "Is this based off of anything?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And it turns out it's not. It's just Zack Snyder and Netflix just being like, "We gotta do something."
It's Zack Snyder's failed Star Wars movie pitch.
Yeah, right. It does. I will say the effects do look really good.
Yeah, you can't expect anything less from Zack Snyder though.
And at least it has color. At least you can see the people. Like unlike his other movies, but anyways, that sounds very interesting. What's it called? Novocaine.
Novocaine, yeah.
I like that title. There's a movie called Novocaine starring Steve Martin.
I've never heard of it.
I wonder if it's a follow-up to that.
It's the same universe, like Shaft. Yeah. It's generational Novocaine. So this is the last movie news we have before we get into our DCOM. This one's going to be a kind of quick one. This is a Pete Davidson horror movie. We may have talked about this because we talk about Pete Davidson a lot. Does this sound familiar to you? It's called The Home.
No.
Have you heard of this? The Home. This movie follows Max, who's played by Pete Davidson, who realizes that the residents and caretakers in the retirement home he started working at hide sinister secrets. So you know it's going to be a pretty fucked up movie when it's Pete Davidson versus old people. An R-rated horror thriller by the guy who directed the Purge movies, the original Purge movies.
Oh, okay. The original. Okay, I guess.
The original. And then he also wrote Jack from 1996.
With Robin Williams?
Yes. Yeah, that was the second movie he ever wrote. And I don't think people knew that the guy who wrote the first Purge wrote Jack, because I didn't know that.
That's fucking weird. Well, they're both horror movies. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, I think it's a really good move for Pete Davidson to be something else than you know, a loud, just stony, druggy guy. You know, I think that's smart to do something a little darker and weirder.
I'm excited for this one
because I can see him. I can see him doing that. You know. I haven't seen Dumb Money yet, but I heard that he's pretty funny in that. But even just in the trailers,
I really want to see that. Everything I see more of that is just so exciting, and I'm glad the actor strike is over because they were just like
now they can promote
the cast were like, it's like that just shows that the people in the industry really like the movie because they're promoting it, even though it's not even out in theaters anymore. They're like, people have to see.
Well, I think they're re-releasing it.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be such a smart decision just to re-release everything. Be like, the last 5 months didn't happen. Let's just re-release all the movies again and pretend and do all the press.
Yeah. We all want that Barbie money.
Yeah. That is on my list of another movie I have to see this year.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Same.
Hopefully December, you and I can just
plow through. Yeah, dude. I'm expecting to plow Hollywood like a motherfucker, dude.
Lionsgate is releasing the movie, so is Miramax. So it's going to be a big release.
Interesting.
I think it's coming out early next year, it sounds like.
And they're done with filming?
Pete Davidson and The Home. Yeah.
Sweet.
And it's going to be a big departure from what we know Pete Davidson do. So I'm excited for that.
From the guy who brought you Bup Kiss.
There we go. That's all the movie news we have. Justin, are you ready for the return of something special?
DCOM Revisited.
It's been so long.
Dude,
welcome
it's been
back.
Way too long. 2 freaking years, man. I can't believe that we have gone this far. This is my favorite segment from this entire show that we've done. This is my idea. This is the only contribution I think I've done on this show.
Yeah, and it's the most impactful, I think, because it's the one that people always ask about. They like wait for, and they're like engage in, because everyone knows DCOMs. Disney Channel. Actually, that's not true. We were talking with our associate producer, and we're like, we gotta make a list of all the DCOMs we haven't watched yet. And he's like, we kept talking. We're like, yeah, like what other DCOM would you want to watch, Justin? And then finally, Chris was like, hold on, what's a DCOM? And then we just paused, and we were like, wait, Disney Channel original movie? You didn't know that?
Were we born the same time, you frickin' dingus? What are you, busy? What, do you got an adult life? You don't remember DCOMs, man? What kind of shit are you getting yourself into? What kind of responsibilities do you have, bro? Sorry.
So yeah, this is our first DCOM in so long, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to stay on track. It's been so long since we've done a DCOM. So welcome back to another DCOM. This is the, I don't know what DCOM this is for us, but
I think the 5th.
We're glad you're here. Disney Channel original movie revisited. That's what we're doing this year.
Yeah, DCOM Revisited.
Here we go. 7 years before Breaking Bad and Sex Drive, which are two equally famous and important in American storytelling. The year is 2001. Malcolm in the Middle is on season 3. It has just started. Mm-hmm. The day is December 7th, and Twas the Night was released. Before Walter White, Bryan Cranston was the Grinch. That is what I'll say. Twas the Night came out in 2001. It stars Danny, 14-year-old, and his con artist uncle, who take over when Santa Claus is knocked out. And I have a question for you, Justin. How was
up?
this movie made after 1994's The Santa Claus?
I know, right? It's pretty. Me and my roommate were like, this is like Bad Santa met the Santa Claus.
Yes, it's exactly that. And in a great way.
Yeah. We'll
I think this is honestly one of the better DCOMs.
It was definitely very entertaining.
That I remember. But I had never seen this one, honestly, until this point. I never saw it when it came out. But the crazy thing that you and I realized on our last episode is the director of this movie is named Nick Castle, and he was the original shape of Michael Myers in the original Halloween movie. And then they brought him back as the shape in the rebooted two of the reboots, and then the last movie that just came out, he wasn't the shape. They recast the shape for some reason. But he also directed The Last Starfighter, Dennis the Menace, and Major Payne. He was also a writer, one of the writers of Hook. He was one of the writers of August Rush, and he was also one of the writers of Escape from New York. So,
dude, like that is the best career I've ever heard.
So
in my
random.
entire
You know,
life.
This guy just loves movies.
Yeah. You can just tell that he's a
It's a shame
great
that
time.
he's not working anymore in behind the scenes and stuff, because he hasn't worked. Like, Twas the Night was his second to last movie that he ever directed.
I want to read this man's autobiography. If he's got one, I want to read it.
Yeah, so that's my soft introduction to Twas the Night. How did you feel about Twas the Night? How familiar were you with it before this viewing too?
So this was one of those Christmas DCOMs that I loved when I was a kid. I watched it every year, but it always came on at a horrible time. It always came on at like 2 a.m. It was one of those DCOMs, and I would wake up sometimes too. That was how me and my brother found it. We woke up and it was Christmas Eve or something like that, and we had to stay, in our room because Santa's out there. And so we were watching Twas the Night, and we were like, dude, this movie's awesome. And then every year we would watch it. And did it hold up for old Justin, for 27-year-old Justin? Yes and no. I love Bryan Cranston's commitment. That motherfucker he acted like this was like the last movie he will ever do in his entire life. Like he's like, this is my magnum opus. I'm gonna give it my all, and he certainly does. He does a great job as the a con artist Nick, which of course his name is Nick because Saint Nick. Movies. But you know who I hated the most, which I never got his name. I was gonna look up his name, but then I was like, you know what? He's just a child. I shouldn't make fun of him too much, so I'm not going to call him out by name. But the fucking little brother, dude. Little brother, Peter. His voice made me want to kill myself, okay? Yeah,
that is also what I wrote.
Word for word?
It's like, I wrote down, why is the younger brother putting on a baby voice? And he has more lines than the sister, but he has a baby voice.
And you could tell that is not his actual voice. Like that is
older,
a choice.
He's smarter.
Yeah, and that's another.
The director probably told him to seem younger.
He's an old kid. Like there's a scene where, like at the end, where he sits on the mom's lap, and you can literally hear her do, because this kid he's not what they're trying to portray him to be. He is an old. He's a 40-year-old man pretending to be a child. He should have played Santa Claus. That's mean.
I agree with you. That was a little off-putting. I remember you saying something that the younger siblings are always the most.
They're always the worst.
Like they're always pushed to the limit of like being a super character. And I always thought that after watching this, being a sibling in a DCOM would be such an exciting acting exercise because you just go over the top. Your one thing is you're annoying. You're gonna solve a problem at the end, and that's it.
You're optimistic.
Yeah.
You're the heart and soul of this movie.
You make the main character feel dumb.
Right. I thought that the little sister in Smart House was super annoying. Like, I always hated her voice. But this kid took the cake, dude. He ran with it. Another thing about this movie that I forgot about were the odd lines. There's so many weird lines in this movie. There's one part, there's these guys,
I think we should be them for Halloween because
I think we should.
There's some likeness.
Right?
There's some likeness.
They are. They're actually. You're not wrong. I didn't even think about that. We do kind of look like those guys. That's
You
kind of
just
weird.
need the big glasses.
Yeah, that is weird. But yeah, they're these thugs, I guess, like these people that are trying to get money from Nick because they either stole. I can't remember exactly. I literally just watched the movie too. I don't know their
They
exact
loaned him
motives.
They loaned Nick
okay.
$30,000, and
Right.
he said that he got his own assets, but he can't pay them back. So
Yeah.
they're demanding $30,000 back.
And these guys are so over the top, so wacky, so unintimidating. And there's one part where one of them has his hand up to smack
He's about to bonk him.
to smack Nick Bryan Cranston in the face, and he literally says, "Please let him give him Mama's kitchen discipline." What?
From some of that Mama's Kitchen discipline.
What?
Wow.
That is crazy. That is a crazy line that somebody wrote.
I'm glad you wrote that down.
And another one was towards the end, Santa, I mean, spoilers, guys, I'm sorry. But Santa ends up giving our bad boy, Nick Bryan Cranston, a gift.
Oh, no, let's get
And
that.
it's-
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
You
I
want
know
me
what
to
you're gonna
save that?
say.
Okay.
That's at the end of the movie. We're still at the beginning. of the
Okay,
movie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to the end of that. I know
You're
where
like,
you're going with that
whoa,
because I
whoa,
agree
whoa.
with you. There are some wild quotes in
Crazy
this movie.
lines.
And that quote that you're going to say is my new nickname.
Okay, cool. All right.
So a few things that I wrote down also in that beginning part is Nick's laptop. His name is Lappy. And I think the entire you're gonna when you're watching this movie, you're gonna see the computers do things you've never seen them do.
Yeah, dude.
Computer is science fiction to these guys at this point. Like it's a whole. That's just the whole theme throughout the whole movie. Is no one understands computers.
Nobody understands computers. And he has a super laptop.
Apparently,
Yeah. His laptop is a superhero.
is the thing that shuts down Santa's sleigh because in a 50-mile radius he shuts down all computers just by dragging something to the trash. But I want to ask you this: Do you remember what hospital emergency called both parents in? Both of the parents are doctors. On Christmas Eve, they have to go into the hospital for an emergency. What is this emergency?
There's reindeer flu.
It's a reindeer flu, a crazy reindeer flu, and that was pretty intense. Actually, they just gloss over that. Come home.
Santa just accidentally just spreaded a crazy disease that's killing half the nation.
That's what happens later on. Santa says, "I think our reindeer should do flu shots next year." It's like, wow. But I also found out Santa would have to go 650 miles per second to get to every house in one night. That's 300,000 times faster than the speed of sound. So I'd like to thank, what's her name in the movie? Little Caitlin. Who's, incredibly smart, apparently. Can do anything and fix anything.
Yeah. She's also easy to convince, too. Because, she went from, oh, that's not Santa, and then all he did was, list out some stuff. She was like, oh, okay, what's up, Santa? It's like, oh, okay, that was easy.
Yeah. What did you think about the special effects of all the shrinking and all the little Santa magic?
I think that some of them, for the time and for it being a TV movie, were actually not that bad.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But there were some stuff that was jarring, and one of them is, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but there's this altercation that Santa has with some thugs, and that was the only effect.
Oh yeah.
Santa pulls some moves.
That's not some special effects. That's just some interesting writing there. But I'm talking about okay. So there's also a lot of time gets frozen. Time freezes. Did you notice
I noticed.
every single actor is actually just standing still? And you see them shaking and breathing.
Yeah, they're literally doing.
And I'm like, is that intentional? Because when you first see it, it's Bryan Cranston and Josh Zuckerman, who's from Sex Drive, the main character. They are both just frozen. I'm like, are they supposed to? And then throughout the entire movie, every time is frozen, every actor is doing that. And it's like, with all the effects that they did with shrinking and everything, they couldn't have figured out a way to pause.
It's because they spent all the money. They spent all the money on the shrinking.
Two shrinking scenes.
The two shrinking scenes and the on that awesome sleigh.
Oh yeah. That was yeah. That was just something I noticed that I really liked, the practicality of it.
Every single time somebody was frozen, I was so excited to see who when that party scene was happening. When he like, dude, I was like, yes, thank
it's
you.
Like playing red
Thank
light,
you.
green light.
Yeah, it reminded me so much. It was nostalgic. This movie is nostalgic in plenty of reasons, but it reminded me of that mannequin challenge. Remember when the kids were doing that?
Oh yeah.
That's what like it reminded me of. I was like, oh, the mannequin challenge came from 2001's Twas the Night.
That's probably what it was like on set. They're probably like, everyone hold, and everyone's like,
Yeah. Oh man.
So when they when Danny and Nick decide to take Santa's sleigh, they go through all these lists and they find out that a little girl was naughty 13 times that year, and she gets an anthill. I just want to ask you, Justin, how many times do you think you were naughty this year?
Oh, Elijah, I'm not legally allowed to answer that question.
It's pending in a court of law. I will talk about it later.
Oh my god, I hope that does not screw me.
Let's see. What else did you notice around? Oh, wait, what else did you write in your notes?
I did notice, like, in the beginning, I found it very weird that they only decorate the tree on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's one day of Christmas decorations.
Yeah, that seems pretty shitty for the parents, honestly. And yeah, no, for the beginning, all I did was I wrote like Uncle Nick, Saint Nick, ooh, Mama's kitchen discipline, and then I wrote this is just Breaking Bad Christmas, because like Bryan Cranston's just selfish and he's just thinking about himself, and there's Josh Zuckerman who's like trying so hard to do better, and then I love that one part of this movie where he's like I thought you were afraid, and he was like, I'm the one that ho-ho-hos.
That was the best part. And then he shaves his head.
And then he shaves his head, and then he actually he doesn't have cancer.
And then he kills his brother.
Yeah, he doesn't have cancer in this movie. He has the reindeer flu.
Yeah. So before we get to the end, Nick decides to convince Danny that he's pulling a full Robin Hood of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. And Danny's like, that's a great idea. You're a great Santa. Only to find out that Nick is actually taking advantage of Santa's equipment, and he's stealing from the rich and keeping for himself, and he's hiding it from Danny.
Santa has the technology to make things a lot smaller.
The shrinking machine that we talked about. Yeah, he starts to steal everything.
Steals a lot of shit. He steals a fucking car.
He goes full blown Grinch, like legitimately.
What's the word? What's the disease like where you can't help but steal? Frick, what the hell is that? Kleptomaniac.
Kleptomania.
You
have the quick.
No, I didn't even look it up. That was my brain.
Kleptomania. Kleptomania.
Yeah. He's a full blown kleptomaniac. Like he can't help himself.
And he does it so much so that all the way to the point where Danny catches him red-handed, and it's a great scene where he has a ring, and it shows proper direction from Nick. I'll call him Nick, the Shape. What's his last name? Nick Castle? Nick Castle. Nick Castle's direction is great because he has a big ring like this. He's looking at it at this angle, and as soon as he puts his hand down, it reveals Danny staring right at him. He's like, "What are you doing, Uncle?" And he lies to his face. Nick lies to his.
That was honestly hard. That was a fucked up scene, dude.
It is, and he thinks that he can get away with it all the way to the point where Danny's like, "I'm not dense. Like I know exactly what you're doing." And Danny's like, I'm leaving, I'm going home. And Nick's like, okay. And he doesn't care that he left.
Doesn't care. Doesn't give a shit.
Does not care. So that was pretty, that just shows how much of a character Nick is and how much growth he still needs to do. And you're thinking, this movie's almost over. Well, how is he going to get better, Justin? What happens? How is Nick going to become a better person? Does he become a better person?
I mean, I guess so. He finds out that the nerdy thugs that Elijah and I are going to be, they are on their way to the family's house, and so that's what makes him think,
he's about to leave town.
Yeah, they're going to do something to my family, And to Santa, I think I should maybe stop and go to them. Even though they're the least intimidating villains of all time. What are they going to do? They're not going to do a damn... They almost didn't do a thing.
That's why they have Elliot, the big man who who only wants to beat people up. And the whole thing about him is that he just wants violence.
He just wants violence, and he can't be tickled.
Right.
Which I want to talk about that because that made me very uncomfortable. But we'll get to
that. There's this whole B storyline with the Santa and the two younger siblings, which
is the worst part of the movie.
I don't really understand at first. They're trying to get a new supercomputer to figure out where Santa's sleigh went. So they go to a Radio Shack type of place, right? But on the way to Radio Shack, they take a wrong turn because Santa wants to do a shortcut down an alley, and they run into a bunch of thugs. And what happens, Justin?
He assaults them.
First of all, the street taggers are about to assault.
They're about to the street taggers are about to kill a man and two kids, and
on
willingly, like they don't care on Christmas Eve. They don't care. They're not going to let them pass by. All Santa wanted to do was ask for directions, or not even ask for directions. He just wanted them to move.
Yeah, just get out of the way. Yeah, because they're just in the way.
Yeah, and so Santa decides to. He says, "Oh man, this man's gonna attack me. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do something traumatizing to all these people. I'm gonna bend him over and tickle him until he says the line, 'Oh, you're one tough tickler.'"
yes.
Creepy.
It's insane that Santa is about to stand up and protect these kids from these very violent-looking men because they're tagging a dark corner, and there's a lot of them.
One of them has dreads. I'm always very scared of white people with dreads.
Blonde dreads, right?
Yeah. White people with dreads scare me.
Santa gets in a street fight with a man named Pablo, and Pablo is very intimidating.
Very intimidating.
But as soon as Santa begins his attack, he's tickling Pablo to the point of confusion, all the way to the point where Pablo's on the ground or being pushed into the car, being tickled from behind or something.
It is so disturbing. I kind of feel bad for the actor that's playing Santa. I feel bad for both of them. Because it's like, I don't know what their goal was there, like, but it doesn't look good. Like me and my roommate were making the joke, like, Santa's not on a nice list or a naughty list, but after that scene, he's definitely on a list. Like, he has to go around every neighborhood and be like, so, ho, so I need to tell you that
I learned a lot about street fighting because if you do this to a street thug, he automatically respects you. And initiated into the family, and the man had never been tickled like that in his life, and he wanted the option to have that in the future. So he says, "Santa, you're welcomed around anytime. You can tickle me anytime." Yeah, basically that's what happens. So they show
Tickle Me Elmo's suing them.
So not only do they move out of the way, they also guide Santa and the children to the Radio Shack and say, here's where you can build your big supercomputer. And that is where they find out how to get in contact with the sleigh, and they all meet up at the house at the end.
Yeah, because Santa gives up. Santa like goes through a full-on depression, dude. Full-on, like, he's just like, he has, and you feel bad for him because he has no contact to go back home. He has no sleigh, and he has nothing. He's just stuck with two annoying-ass kids.
Yeah, he goes full It's a Wonderful Life and says, life would be better without me. Mm-hmm. If I'm gone, then people will start to appreciate me. That's what he says.
He was on the ledge. Like, he was about to jump. Like, he was done.
Yes. But then he has to save it by saying, I'll go retire in Florida with Rudolph. It's like, no, you're not going to retire.
That's another weird thing.
You're going to disappear.
That's another weird thing that Santa says. He's like, I can go to Florida and I'm going to have Rudolph rub suntan lotion on my back. It's like, wait, what? Did you just say that?
And then he says, would a spray tan make me look skinnier? He says,
yeah.
He's having a midlife crisis.
He's having a midlife crisis. And also, like, why wouldn't Mrs. Claus do that? Why are you making one of your deer rub suntan lotion on you? Why are you going to Florida with Rudolph, dude? There's so many questions. Are you having a secret affair with your deer? That's how the reindeer disease got spread around because he's having a secret affair with Rudolph.
Oh man.
I like how you're like, oh no, Justin, please stop. You're like, oh, no, what do I
So
do?
my notes say,
You're like, disclaimer.
Oh yeah, so Elliot versus Santa. The big man finally decides to fight Santa because the collectors find their way to Danny's house.
They found their way to the house, yeah.
And so Santa, with his black belt and tickling, decides to try to tickle Elliot, who turns out to be not ticklish. So
It
what
turns
happens
out that
after
Elliot can deflect.
Something like that.
Something like that. He doesn't. He can't be tickled.
No. So what is Santa gonna do? He's out of options.
He's out of options. But luckily, Nick has he decides to come back, and instead of just immediately just being like, "Hey guys, fuck off my family," he has to do a speech about how he's going to take all the things back, and because everybody deserves all the things, and he doesn't deserve the things. And so the big guy, what's his name again? Chancho?
Elliot.
That was close. he's like, oh, I'm not scared of you. And he's like, but I got this. And he shows him the ball, and then he shrinks him, and then they run away. And that's it. And my favorite part though is that Santa asks them for help because he's majorly behind schedule, and he's like, hey, do you want to help me out and return all these things that you stole? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna stay here with the family. And he's just like, Santa's like, okay, well, ho ho ho, I'm gonna just go fuck myself now. You guys ruined my entire night. This is the most stressful Christmas Eve I've ever had in my entire life, and you guys are just gonna let me do all this by myself. He doesn't have any way of getting a hold of his elves either because his thing was broken. And so he's just like,
oh yeah, that's right. His laptop was broken. How did they fix that, Justin? They finally decided that they needed a super laptop. And who has a super laptop that just so happens to be called Lappy?
Just so happens to be Nick, aka Bryan Cranston, aka the man who knocks.
That is the biggest character arc for him because his entire life is on that laptop. From the get-go, when we first meet him, the most precious thing to him is the laptop.
Precious.
And he gives it up for Santa.
For his family.
What symbolism is that? That's good writing right there.
That's great writing. You can tell this is directed by the guy that did Dennis the Menace, man. This is great. Great stuff.
So everyone's happy by the end, right? Christmas morning arrives. Danny gives his parents an IOU because he somehow forgot Christmas Eve on Christmas Eve. That in the very beginning of the movie, a 14-year-old kid forgets his Christmas Eve. I don't understand.
Yep.
But we'll look past that. We see it from Nick's perspective of him seeing this family enjoy Christmas, and he's emotional. You can tell that he's happy that they're happy, but there's something missing in his life. You can see it in Bryan Cranston's his incredible face. His acting is just not saying a thing, but he feels it. You feel it.
Yeah. The fact that people sleep on this performance is just ridiculous.
That's when little 52-year-old Peter pulls out a little present from behind and says, Uncle Nick, there's something behind here. And what's behind the tree, Justin?
So there's this one part, Elijah, one powerful scene where Bryan Cranston's Nick explains to Josh Zuckerman's David, or Danny, sorry, how dare I, that he really wanted this guitar, this Jimi Hendrix guitar, but he never got it, and that's the reason why he returned to the world of crime. Yeah,
he said that's when everything changed because his brother got everything and he didn't.
His brother got everything because he was on the.
And so the parallels between the brothers are pretty spot on.
The writing's impeccable, and so
it's all connected.
It's all connected. So 52-year-old Peter finds behind the tree the guitar that obviously
too heavy for him.
Too heavy for him because he can't.
Because he's little.
Because he's a little guy. He hands him this plastic guitar that's supposed to be Jimi Hendrix.
It's the guitar from McCusack's music store.
And everybody's like, Uncle Nick, please play us some of those awesome riffs.
Who is this from? Because none of them could afford to get him a guitar. So
the two parents are just two doctors. They can't afford that.
No, they just don't love him. That's all. They wouldn't get him that. That's what it is. But who gave this guitar to him, and what does it say?
It says to my favorite naughty boy. It's
Santa.
from the tickling predator who flies above the sky and could freeze time and shrink things. Santa Claus himself, baby.
Yeah, Nick gets a guitar from Santa that says, "To my favorite naughty boy," which coincidentally is my new nickname for Justin.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think my favorite line of the movie though is when they ask Uncle Nick to play an awesome tasty lick off that beautiful Jimi Hendrix plastic guitar that they got from Radio Shack probably. I think it reminds me of one of those things that you could just like put coins into. It's like a little piggy bank.
Yeah, it was really, that scene was so interesting.
So they ask him to lick that guitar, make that Christmas light up that Christmas, and he looks like he's doing terribly. He's doing some Jingle Bells shit, and the next thing you know, he's faking him out, Elijah. He's faking him out.
I had the subtitles on, and it says plays Jingle Bell badly, plays out of tune. And then it says professional riff.
It's like playing Guitar Hero or Rock Band. You're like mediocre. Professional lick.
I couldn't it said plays Jingle Bells badly, and I couldn't even tell what song it was the entire time. It just sounded like guitar sounds, which is fine. It's the cheesiest guitar scene I've ever seen. But whatever it says, Nick says, "I can't play this. I have to sell this to recover from my debts." And the room dies. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's got real shit to deal with."
Yeah, he almost killed our entire family.
But then they're like, "You know what? Whatever. Just play it once, and then you can sell it and deal with your debts later. Just play Christmas, you can leave tomorrow. We won't have to deal with it." But
yeah. You're gonna have your legs be broken.
Yeah. And so that's.
So you guys are doctors. You guys could help me out, right? And they're like,
exactly. Yeah, but what the moral of the story is that Uncle Nick didn't go to jail. Everyone is happy, and the best gift for Christmas comes at no price. It's to be with your family, whether you're naughty or nice.
Yes. But I gotta say really quick before we end this DCOM that my favorite line in the entire movie is that the dad says, as Nick is proceeding to light up the Christmas, the dad says, "Oh, what a hot dog."
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't just say it once, Elijah. He says it twice. He says, "What a hot dog." Oh,
is it the same line of dialogue and they just repeated it? Or does it show him say it twice?
He shows him say it twice.
He says it once off. Okay. That's
I think that was some amazing improv from that man, from that father character actor. He's a character actor. he went full on method and was like, you know what? I feel like this scene needs me to call my brother an old hot dog.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed this movie so much.
I did too.
It before. There's nothing that I didn't have any flaws with it. I mean, there's logic.
There's
because there's things that I want to question of okay, so does the entire world freeze when Santa's doing his thing, or
just the house,
or just the house in the moment? I don't understand it.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
There's a B storyline that's happening, but then every time we see Santa, or every time we see Danny and Nick, time is frozen. But then we see Santa and the kids, time is not frozen. So I don't understand the lot. It's all right. It
makes absolutely no sense.
I didn't write the movie. I don't need to know.
Just like the computers in this movie, nothing makes sense.
Yes. Any computers in DCOMs up until 2010 probably did not make sense. They're all just plot devices.
Yeah, pretty much every early 2000s kids movie that you're going to see, technology is just, everybody's a superhero. It's science fiction. Yeah.
What would you give this then out of 5 stars? 5 popcorns.
I would give it, honestly, even though I had a good time with it, it's still not the greatest movie. I would give it 2 popcorns out of 5.
What?
Okay. But for entertainment reasons, and yes, you bet your ass I'm gonna be watching. My roommate even said, he was like, I don't think that was a good movie, but that was very entertaining, and I would watch that every year.
That means it's a good movie. How is that not a good movie then?
Entertainment reasons, I give it a 5 out of 5. As an actual movie, it's 2 out of 5.
What is wrong with it?
Oh my god, Bryan Cranston's the best part. He's
okay.
He's the best part.
I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. See, we're kind of on the same page. But
2 seems a little low.
Look. Okay, I'll give it a 2.5. Gavin, what would you give Twas the Night out of 5?
I don't know. Probably 2. I feel like
Yeah.
the story was really boring.
He said 2.
Does he like the Santa Claus?
He said the Santa part. Do you the Santa Claus like Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Do you like the Santa Claus?
Storyline with Santa and the kids was way better than the Bryan Cranston shit before.
Yeah, he says yes.
Oh, okay. That's why. That's why he's a Santa Claus. That was the original.
he's like Tim Allen's not playing it. I'm not into it. No, I like the movie was like it's one of those movies where I was not bored at all. I'm very very happy that I watched it. I chose my time.
I'm surprised I had never seen it.
The movie is the exact reasons why I love Disney Channel original movies, even as I grow older, because they're so ridiculous. But you can tell everybody just had the greatest time.
Yeah, the thing about DCOMs is they're just go. They hop right in, and then they just end. You know,
and that's what I love. I love it. Like there's no like wasting any time. Like it's just we're going.
I have this one thing I wrote down. There's this one random moment where there's like a transition where it fades. In my mind, it immediately went, "Oh my god, a commercial's about to happen."
I know, right?
But then it just went into the next shot, and that was my PTSD of watching DCOMs of like, "Oh, here comes the commercial." Oh no, never mind. Okay, I'm streaming this. It was like a childhood core memory of like, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom now." It was like, "This is the moment. It's fading."
Part of me kind of wishes that Disney Plus would do that. Like they would have like the old commercials,
the time ones, the Disney commercials of like, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish sometimes that they did because it just adds on to the experience.
Definitely.
But no, I loved it, and I just loved that like Bryan Cranston just like he treated this like he was gonna get an award.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, if you look at Bryan Cranston worked a lot. Like, let me tell you what he was doing. Like he shows up in a lot of crazy shit, dude. He's had a long career.
Yeah, dude. No, he's
had appearances in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers '93 show, which was crazy because he ended up being a major part of the reboot movies. He was in a show called Babylon 5, which is coming back right now, which is insane. He was in 5 Seinfeld episodes. Mm-hmm. He's in Saving Private Ryan. He's credited as War Department Colonel, so he's not even a character. He's in X-Files. He was in a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show, Third Rock from the Sun, King of Queens, and then he did, and then he was on Malcolm in the Middle by this point. So he was made success, and so Disney was like, hell yeah, we'll give you a deal. He was on top of the world right now. This is like right where he broke out. It's Twas the Night, 2001.
And I'm pretty sure it's his first like starring role in a movie.
Yeah.
Pretty
he was
much.
always on television up until that point. And even though it was a Disney, I mean, even as a TV movie, it's still a Disney movie.
We'll count it.
Yeah, he had his own name card.
Well, see, that's what's awesome. That's what's awesome about him is that you can tell that he's like one of those actors where he never forgets where he came from.
Yeah, he did it for the craft, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to get to. Of like, he took it so seriously because he is. I'll use the word thespian. Like, 100%. He's full blown, just wants to do his craft.
Yeah.
So I like that you pointed out how into the role he got because it's convincing. He's convinced me, and he convinced everyone else. He's a good actor.
You can tell that even if like today, if somebody asked about Twas the Night, he would probably remember like random crew members' names. He'd probably just be like, "Oh yeah, Twas the Night. That was a great one. I loved that. Fantastic time."
That's incredible.
I want to drink his mezcal tequila and fucking talk to him about Twas the Night. I don't give a shit about Breaking Bad, bro. I don't give a shit about Malcolm in the Middle, bro. I want to talk about Twas the Night, please. Give me all the deets, bro. All the deets.
Great. Let's write a spec script for a sequel and bring back Nick Castle.
Oh wow. I mean, what do you think? What would it even be about? Oh, Nick has to stop another burglar. Like he finds out that somebody else is trying to do what he did. And so he has to stop them because Santa died.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Maybe that.
Santa died. You want to know how Santa died? He tickled the wrong person, bro. He tickled the wrong damn person.
Go to the wrong back street and tickle the wrong person. Dude, you don't know what'll happen.
And like they never said that Santa's bulletproof.
Yeah, he says, man, yeah, okay.
That being said, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, that was a very successful DCOM. Thanks for watching the DCOM. until
Sorry.
our next DCOM. I don't know what our next one will be, but
Well, dude, I saw that it was like recommending to watch The Ultimate Christmas Present, which
I had never even heard about.
Oh
I just know
God,
one of
dude.
the writers of this movie though actually wrote Disney's Genius, the one that's like the nutty professor but a kid.
Oh,
He
dude.
makes a clone of
Yeah.
himself because
Wow.
he's too smart or whatever.
Yeah.
One of the writers of this movie wrote that one too. So there's that one. There's a lot that we can look at.
Dude, I know. There's
but
so much.
we'll-
This
we'll
is like its
determine
own show.
At another date. We're not going to do another DCOM for like not right away. We're going to make the people wait. But thanks for listening to our DCOM.
Thank you guys. Dude, you did it.
We did, yeah, and it's not too long of an episode. Hopefully you guys stuck around. This is a podcast. You guys can hang out if you want. You can listen to us in multiple sittings, you know? Listen to your favorite naughty boy, Justin.
Listen to Elijah. He's such a hot dog.
Here's my impression of a hot dog.
Oh, rest in peace.
Classic.
Classic.
So yeah, thanks for checking out another episode of History of Popcorn, your Secret Public movie club. Let us know what you guys are watching. Let us know what we should be watching. Let us know what you thought of Twas the Night from 2001. Let us know what other DCOM we should be revisiting. Follow us on social media. I don't know. Subscribe on YouTube. Rate us on Spotify. Give us 5 stars. Give us a review. Share it with your friends. I don't know. Do all the things. All the things.
Listen to our podcast, or else we're going to give you that Mama's Kitchen discipline.
So yeah, on that note, love you guys. Love you, Justin.
I love you.
And we will be back on our next episode.
Hell yeah.
Hooray.
Disney
Revisited. Woo.
Woo. We love each other.
This is the best podcast ever.
Best podcast ever. They rated us the most energetic duo since insert joke here. I don't know.
Did you see that? Actually, I was a little offended because Taylor Lautner got hottest podcast host this year.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Once again, Taylor Lautner is taking another award from me.
Oh, dude, right?
Just gonna say.
I know. Weren't you?
I won't talk about the other one.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that one. You know, you weren't supposed to be in the movie Abduction. That was supposed to be your breakout role, and Taylor Lautner just swooped it up.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Talk to you later. To my favorite naughty boy.
Adios.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Tickle, 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 tickle.
It's that thing.
That is so fetch.
You love them, and they know it.
How the hell you gonna get fired on your day off? Yeah, I was high when I said that. Tell him.
What we're talking about is money. Real money. Amigo money. No dough, no show.
Hamburger, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, funny like I'm a clown, ain't
Take it off, dickhead. I'm serious.